Do you have a newer Chevy Silverado HD? Well, here at Morimoto Lighting, we have the perfect lighting upgrade for you, and it's the new XB Headlight. With the new Morimoto XB Headlight, it is a full OEM headlight replacement, full plug and play, making the install a breeze as well. So no more do you have to deal with those stock dingy halogen bulbs in your low beam and high beam. And no more do you have to deal with those incandescent turn signals with that slow on and slow off. With the Morimoto XB Headlight, it is an extreme upgrade compared to your stock headlights, and even keeping you safer at night on the road. But it doesn't stop there. They are also extremely stylish as well. You have LED projectors for your low beam and high beam, and a fully functional DRL, meaning that it will dim down once your high beams or low beams are on. They also feature that notorious sequential turn signal. You also have the option of it being standard or sequential, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. So with the XB turn signals compared to your OEM stock headlights, it gives your truck a nice, clean, modern look. The XB headlights come with 3 LED projectors. All 3 projectors light up as your low beam, and 2 of them are a bi-LED projector for your high beam. But in my opinion, the best feature of these headlights is the Morimoto's unique startup sequence. So every time you turn these bad boys on, it gives you that very unique startup sequence. All right, now that you know all about the features of the XB headlights, let's talk about the outputs. The way we do our testing to find out how bright or how dim a headlight is by using a digital lux meter. This measures actual usable brightness at a certain point. This is way better than measuring lumens when comparing headlights. At 25 feet from the wall, we have measured the stock halogen lights. With your Morimoto XB Low Beam, they come in at 1,790, compared to your halogen low beam at only 420, which is a 326% increase in brightness compared to your stock low beams that are only 420 maximum lux. Now with your stock halogen low beam and the XB Low Beam, there is an extreme difference between the two. The XB is a lot brighter, a wider beam pattern, and it even has a very crispy cutoff line, making driving at night a lot safer. Now with the XB High Beam, they come in at 1,840 maximum lux, which is 73% brighter than your halogen high beams, which are only at 1,060 maximum lux. And as you can see, the XB high beams are extremely bright with a way wider beam pattern and a very modern light output, allowing you to see way further off in the distance, especially at night. And one of the coolest parts, guys, is that the install is pretty easy. So let's get straight into that. So these are the tools that you'll be using for this install. A Phillips to adjust your headlight, a Flathead Screwdriver, a Pry Tool of your choice, a T15, a T20, needle nose pliers, a 10mm socket, a 7mm socket, T15 Torx, an extension, a ratchet of your choice, and some extra pry tools. First things first, go ahead and pop the hood. All right, now with the hood pop, guys, there's gonna be 9 plastic push tabs that you'll be taking up and out. Just use a pry tool and get those out. All right, now with all those plastic tabs out, you're gonna get a T15 and remove these 2 screws to go ahead and release this plastic lever. Now with all those plastic tabs up and out of the way and that plastic lever, just go ahead and pull up on your plastic shroud, just like so, and set it aside. All right, now with that shroud out of the way, it's gonna expose these 4 10mm bolts on the top of your grill. Go ahead and just remove those. Now with all those out, we're gonna go ahead and move down to the fender well. All right, now that we're down here by the fender well, what we're gonna do is take this liner and get it out of the way. So there's gonna be 6 T15 screws that you have to remove. 3 of them will be alongside your fender area, 2 will be at the very base of it, and 1 in the center. And at the very top of the fender, there is one plastic clip. Just take that out and remove it. All right, now with those clips out of the way, you can go ahead and pull your fender liner back just like so, allowing you to get access to those clips on the back side of this plastic trim piece. And also there is one 7mm bolt we'll be removing. Now with that out of the way, you can just go ahead and pry on this black plastic trim piece. Just be very careful because you are working with plastic. And if you are having trouble with these clips, you can pinch on the very back side of these, helping it release it from the clip. All right, now with this trim piece loose, it is going to expose that one 7mm bolt that you have to take out. So next up, what we're going to do is remove this body panel. There's going to be 3 clips on the very top of this, and then also 4 clips on the back side of this. Once we get it up and off, I'll show you guys exactly where those are at. Now just start by prying on the very bottom, and then move up to the very top of the panel. All right, now with those clips out, we're gonna go ahead and move to the very front and then pull on these clips as well, releasing the full body panel. Now on the very bottom, there is a rubber lip. Just keep that in mind when taking it out and just set this aside. And do the same exact thing to the other side. Now go ahead and just start prying on the very top of the grill, releasing it from the few clips on the very top. And then using a very long flathead screwdriver, just go in the very center, and there's gonna be a clip right here that you have to release off. There's also one clip in the very center at the very bottom. Just pry at the very bottom of the grill, and you'll hear it release. And then work your way along the very bottom and the sides and do the exact same thing. Now at the lower corners of your grill, there's gonna be 2 10mm bolts that you need to remove. Now go ahead and do the side ones as well. Now if you have a camera in the grill, go ahead and unplug that so you can remove the grill. Now just go ahead and pull it away and set it aside. All right, now with the grill out, as you notice on your stock headlights, there's these 2 plastic brackets. What you're gonna do is remove those and transfer those over to your new XB headlights. In doing so, you'll be using a T20 to remove those. And do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, now with those brackets off, it's time to go ahead and take out the stock headlight. And doing so, there's 2 10mm screws up top, 2 on the inside, and also 2 on the outside. Starting on the side, there's gonna be 2 10mm bolts. And then remove the 2 in the center from the front. And lastly, 2 on the very top. And using a pry tool, there's a small clip right here. All you have to do is pry up on it, just like so, releasing it from that small hole that it's in. Now with all those removed, you can go ahead and gently pull on your headlight and then disconnect it. Now you only have one connection for this headlight. All you have to do is pull out this little plastic piece right here and then disconnect the main connector. Now just pull this little red tab out and then push this tab down and disconnect it. Once it's disconnected, just go ahead and set the headlight aside. Now do the same thing to the other side. Now before installing your new XB headlights, we need to go ahead and install your new DRL harness. In doing so, what you're gonna do is tap this into your fuse box and then run these 2 connectors down to your passenger and driver headlight. Let me go ahead and show you how to do that. Now go ahead and just lift the fuse lid up and off. Now go ahead and locate slot 40. This is where you're gonna be installing your fuse tap. Go ahead and take your needle nose and remove this fuse out of the way. Now take your fuse tap and put it in its place. And take your lid and close it back down. So now with the connectors, there's going to be a shorter lead and a longer lead. With the shorter lead, you're going to run this and then pull it through. And with the longer lead, you're going to run it all the way over to the passenger headlight and then connect it to the passenger headlight as well. And we can just zip tie all of this up here in a bit. So before the install, there's one last piece that you have to transfer over to your XB headlight. It's this plastic bracket right here. There's two T20 screws that you have to take out and then transfer over. Now go ahead and place the bracket onto your XB headlight and tighten it down. Now go ahead and grab your new XB headlight and plug it in. Plug in your main harness, and then lastly, just plug in your DRL. Now, like I said before, guys, you have the option of having a sequential turn signal or a standard turn signal. Now, if you want the sequential turn signal, more like that scrolling effect, you'll keep it plugged in. But if you want that standard blink effect, then you just unplug it. I personally like the sequential, so I'm gonna keep it plugged in. Now, with everything plugged in, you can go ahead and install your headlight. All right, now with that headlight installed, don't forget to reinstall those plastic brackets that you took off your stock headlights. All you have to do is line them back up on these little grooves right here. They can only go on one way. And then using also those screws that you took out earlier, make sure to hand tighten these only, guys, because you are working with plastic. And then you'll be tightening these down with a T20. Now with that bracket installed, do the exact same thing on the other side. Then test out all your functions and then button everything back up, and then you're good to go. And just like that, guys, you have installed one of the best headlights for your Chevy Silverado HD. If you want to find out what all other products we have for your truck, just head over to morimotolighting.com and put your year, make, and model, and we'll catch you guys over there.